The main topic that I wanted to talk about today is dreams. And just basically covering the stuff that nobody else covers accurately. It's kind of interesting when you think about it. Go do some research on dreams, and you're going to find a plethora of a variety of people talking about dreams. And every single one, generally speaking, you're going to go, oh, wow, that's a very interesting take on it. And because you personally do not have a inside track, so to say, meaning that you are not enlightened, or that you don't have firsthand knowledge from the spiritual plane of existence where reality emanates from, that you're kind of looking for the truth, trying to define or not define, but trying to learn something that you don't already know about dreams. And what you're going to find is there are so many facets and so many so-called knowledgeable people talking about dreams that if you're not careful, you will get sucked in on one or two or whatever theories on what dreams are, how they're created. You might get sucked in from the professional field of psychology, and they will convince you that they know how dreams are made because they can put medical devices on you and have millions of dollars worth of machines that are tapped into your brain and everything else. Or you'll have these spiritual leaders talk to you about dreams, or you'll read in the Bibles and this and that and everything else. The bottom line is, I'm telling you right now that for the most part, if not entirely, they're all wrong. Now, does that mean that they are totally wrong? No. Because like from the science field, from the psychology field, they are trying to figure out reality from a one-dimensional practice, study, because they think everything is physical, when in fact dreams are not physical. And so they hook all these things up to your brain, and they say, see, this is what's going on when you're in REM sleep, or whatever the case may be. And what really is going on is it isn't happening in the brain. The brain is reacting to the dream just like an engine reacts to gasoline. The gasoline without the engine, or vice versa. And they think everything is physical when in fact dreams are definitely not physical. Let me stop right there and go off on a side shoot. There are a lot of things that are assumed to be dreams that are not dreams. For instance, there are visions, there are revelations, there's astral projection, there are waking dreams. I can't even think of the name right now. It's a very easy name, but it escapes me. And these are not the common dream that I am referring to, because they're all similar. Because, for instance, a vision is like a dream, but in fact, you're not creating it. A vision is a connection with God, deity, or whatever. coming through your dream and teaching you things that you need to know. Revelations are very similar to visions, where there's an interaction with God directly to you in a dream. So it's kind of like a special dream. The astral projection is similar to that, but you're not interacting with God, but instead you're interacting with pretty much no different than here on this physical plane of existence, where we're interacting with billions of other people. And not only are we interacting with billions of other people, but we're interacting with the consequences of what other people do. So you got evil, you got good, you've got... So the astral plane is a similar type scenario, where it's a plane of existence that you're not creating. In other words, when you wake up from the astral plane continues. It is not affected whether you're alive or dead or dreaming or not dreaming or whatever. It is just like when you go to sleep, this physical plane of existence continues on without you being aware of what's going on. Nevertheless, it's going on. In the standard type dreams that I'm talking about, there's no interaction, there's no purposefully interaction with any other forms of intelligence. There's nothing going on there from God, from anybody. You are entirely creating that. When I say you, I'm not talking about the physical human body. I'm not talking about the brain or anything else. I'm talking about your essence, your spiritual essence, your soul, your Atman, the true essence of what you are. That is the God-like entity that you are, that is creating that dream. Now, in that dream, okay, so let's get into dreams now that I'm on that point. Maybe I'll get back to the other one. I'm scattered all over the place today, and I apologize for that, but that's just the way it is. So dreams. Let me be clear. You are not going to find a source in books or in video or anywhere else. And if you do, I'm going to be damn surprised, because I've been discussing this with my brother, who has been doing spiritual studies as long as I have, from a different facet of reality. And he's been at it just as avidly as I have been for a good 55 years, like myself. And I have been discussing this topic with him over the past several days of dreams. And he is of the like mind, that in his studies over the 50 plus years, he has yet to find a source or information upon dreams that's accurate. They're all essentially bullshit. And when I say bullshit, what do I mean by that? I mean that people speculate. They just don't know, so they speculate. And I'm sure they convince themselves that they know what they're talking about. But there's more things going on than just you. There really is an evil demonic force and source and entities out there. And there really is good out there. And there's a very complex thing, or there's a very complex, energetic, dynamic reality going on in so many planes of existence that it would amaze you. It's no different than here on this planet Earth when you look around and you see such a dynamic range of good and evil. It is the same throughout these other planes of existence. And so people tap into sources that are not directly from Brahma. And then they either speculate or they're interjecting compromised truth. When I say compromised, I mean infected with demonic, evil things. Now, when I say that, is that like really bad? No, it may not really be bad, but it isn't the truth. So, are you interested in learning the truth, or are you interested in reading a science fiction book that has no basis upon reality? And that's what you're going to find in dreams. So when I'm telling you my take on dreams, it isn't speculation. It isn't what I've read in books. It isn't what I've seen on videos. It isn't anything anywhere other than I have been perplexed by dreams, like most people that study stuff like this. I've been perplexed my entire life about that, wondering what is it? And then I have had to inquire of God directly, what is it? And honestly, shall I say, God is not exactly forthcoming, or has been forthcoming over the years to clearly identify what's going on. When in fact, think about it, it consumes, what, 30% of your physical life here on this plane of existence, and yet essentially we know nothing about it. Well, we've got a lot of speculation going on, but we know nothing about it. So what is really going on? Okay, so let me get back with what I was just saying. Yes, when I'm telling you what I know about dreams, I'm telling you that I have gotten this from Brahma, God. So it's not just speculation. So what are they? This is a very difficult topic because I have not written any of this down, and I honestly don't think that I'm going to write it down. And that brings me up to another topic. I know I'm all over the map here. I've been talking in some of my past videos the need for a guru, a living guru, not a dead one. And why is that so important? Well, it's so important because you cannot question a dead guru. You cannot question the writings of a dead guru. You cannot clarify what was meant. There's no interaction. So, do you throw everything in the garbage pit that is from past living gurus? No, of course not. Those are stepping stones. Those are scriptures. We're talking about Jesus. We're talking about Buddha, Krishna. We're talking about any and all past living enlightened gurus and teachers and saints and apostles and this, that, and everything else. Well, these are all resources for you to educate yourself upon so that you are equipped with enough knowledge that you can then start questioning the seemingly cognitive dissonance that's going on in this plane of existence. And it does go on because, for instance, as soon as someone dies, at the very least, there's no way to get living information from that individual anymore. You can't question them. You can't get follow-up. You cannot get further clarification. You can't do anything because they're dead, they're gone. And so you can't, it's not living. It's no longer a living source of information, which is why you need a living guru. You've got a couple possibilities. You can access a living guru, or you can be the living guru. That's the only way to get this sort of information. And if you get it directly from God, then you're a living guru. Now, you can be a living guru and never talk to another human being on this planet, and it's just between you and God. Okay, that works. And then you can say, well, there are people that says, well, you don't need a guru. You can do this all on your own. Okay, but that's kind of hypocritical too, because in reality, to say you can do it all on your own, well, then how did you get to where you are right now? Were you born in a vacuum, and then as you never had any other interaction with a human being, you just lived in amongst the wolves? Well, then you wouldn't be asking God questions about anything because you wouldn't know anything. So don't be a hypocrite. Don't say that you don't need gurus, or you don't need living gurus, or you don't need anything like that. Don't be a hypocrite, because you're just limiting yourself from furthering your awareness and becoming closer to God and becoming enlightened. You do need them. But what I'm saying is, eventually, when you learn enough from dead gurus, it is possible and very likely that they're probably the most, I'm guessing that the most common way of gaining enlightenment is directly from God. In other words, you've never talked one-on-one with a living guru. And so, as rare as it is, it's probably more common that enlightened people have never talked with another living guru. Like Jesus never talked with another living guru. Buddha never talked with another living guru. Krishna never talked with another living guru. They learned what they learned, and then they went directly to the source, which is Brahma, and got enlightened that way. So yeah, that's the most common way, but it's exceedingly rare for that to happen. Exceedingly rare. And yet that's the most common way. The next best way is to go to an already enlightened living guru. That's the next best way. But when there's only about literally a handful of living enlightened gurus on the planet today, how likely it is that you're actually going to find one? Not very likely. You're more likely, seriously, you're more likely to win the $1 billion lottery than you are to find a living enlightened guru. And when I say find, because most people that are looking for enlightenment, most people have contact with a living enlightened guru and go, yeah, that's not a living enlightened guru. I know what a living enlightened guru should look like, and that's not him, that's not her. This person's a dipshit. This person doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground. This person is too violent. They're too aggressive. They're too this, too that, too that. Well, one thing for sure, I know that they're not enlightened. That is exceedingly common. There's probably, for every 1,000 people that are seriously looking for an enlightened guru, 999 out of 1,000 are going to come across one and go, yep, that's not a living guru. Nope, no. Let's move on. And then, of course, what they're going to settle for is an unenlightened guru, one that will gain them nothing. Take their money, take their time, and gain nothing. That's what's common. That's what is 99.999% of the time. So, getting back to dreams. What the hell is going on with dreams? Dreams are a way to thwart the effects of time. For instance, you know what, when you look at a digitized picture, there are pixels, and depends on how many pixels are crammed into a certain defined area. The more pixels, the clearer the picture. And it's when you see a picture, on immediately glancing at the picture, you make a decision on what you're looking at. But the problem is information about spiritual things, about learning, coming from books, coming from gurus, coming from any source, no matter how it is, you're getting one pixel at a time. And then after 1,000 pixels, your brain goes, I've lost track of what's going on. Just like some people have lost track of what I'm talking about already. They've turned off the video going, I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about. He just drones on and on and on and on and on and never gets to the fucking point. That's what I'm talking about. That's how reality really does play out. When you're reading a book, it's one letter at a time into one word, and then a sentence, and then a paragraph. These are pixels. And when you get all done reading the book, you forgot what was in the first chapter, kind of, or you forget this, or you don't see the entire picture. And then if you do have a wonderful brain and you're able to put together this whole thing, or you're talking to a guru or whatever, and you put the whole thing together, it's still not a crystal clear picture, because you're not going to get the entire thing in an instant, and you need it in an instant. And a dream is a way to thwart the effects of time. It is a way to get information into the physical reality in an instant, and that's how God communicates with us, in an instant, in no time flat. The speed of light, I don't want to go down that path because that's another thing that people don't understand. But it is a way, because the speed of light is no time, by the way. For instance, if you could absorb information at the speed of light, then you could absorb all the information in existence in 0 time. And I don't mean in 1 picosecond. I mean in 0 time. That's how dreams work. Now you could say, oh, no, it doesn't, because I was asleep at night and 6 hours later I woke up. And so it's not 0 time, it's 6 hours. But that's like Einstein's theory of relativity, because see, don't forget the relativity. The speed of light is relative to you, but the speed of light itself it takes no time. And I know this is going over the head of most people, but the speed of light, if you were traveling at the speed of light, you could traverse the entire universe 1,000 times, and it would take no time, not even a picosecond, no time. And everybody would say, no, because see here, that's 1 billion light years away to that star. 1 billion light years. So don't tell me the speed of light takes no time. It takes 1 billion years to go there. And it's like, dude, get out of your brain, for crying out loud. it's relative. In other words, the speed of light is relative to you on the planet Earth, which is going around the sun, which is going around the Milky Way galaxy, blah, blah, blah. The speed of you is relative to light. Light is independent of you, but when you compare yourself to light, then it takes 1 billion years to go there and back. But in reality, it takes no time. Because I don't want to go down that path. It's just too damn complicated for people to understand. It's easy to understand if you open your mind, but that's how dreams are. I know I'm just all over the map today. So, you go to bed at night and you dream, but you're no longer in this plane of existence. I'm talking about your essence. The reason I say non-duality is bullshit is because of this. Because duality truly does exist. The essence of you is dual to the essence of Brahma, or the essence of any other human being on the planet. It is dual. It is separate. It is not interconnected. It is not one entity. It is dual. It is multiple. So, you go to bed at night and you dream. And you get this fantastic dream that you see. I mean, if you can awaken yourself in a dream, meaning that you are conscious of that dream when you wake up in the physical realm, and I've done this many times, by the way, where you are in the dream and you go, this is a dream. I'm going to analyze this dream. And you look around and you go, wow, it is so intricate. I mean, it's so damned intricate that there are other people in this dream, and I don't know who they are. And they are independent and acting as if they are independent. And I can't read their mind. And yet they are acting seemingly completely random. And I am actually creating them. And I'm creating the granules of sand and the atoms and the molecules and the sunlight, and it is vastly complex. It is as vastly complex as this physical reality. And I'm creating it 100%. And then I'm thinking about this, and when I wake up, I remember the fantastic details, but no time passed. Now let me explain how no time passed and how the pixels all work together. In this physical reality, we inculcate things 1 pixel at a time, and it takes time to get the whole picture together. Even a video is a string of individual pictures strung together to create motion. But yet, in reality, they are individual frames of pictures 60 times a second, or 30 times a second, or 120 times a second. And so you're getting it one at a time, but you think it's real. You think it's fluid, but in reality, it is not. But if you were in front of another human being in a living format, then it isn't like this video. It is actually fluid. But is that taking time? Yeah, even that takes time. So even though you're not getting it in pixelated form, you're still getting it in time form. In other words, every second that goes by, every picosecond that goes by, every minute that goes by, or hour, or a lifetime, You're getting information over time. And it comes into you and you gain that information. But you're not getting it instantaneous. In a dream, it's instantaneous. It takes no time. Now let me explain how that works. When you go into a dream, you disassociate from the physical body. Now I'm talking about normal dreams. I'm not talking about visions and revelations. Although they are the same thing, they're still a different format. There's a lot of different ways, but I'm talking about the generic dreams that literally everyone has every single night. That when they wake up, they don't really remember. You disassociate from the physical body. The spirit is now existing. When I say spirit, it's that I'm just using a word because it isn't even a spirit. I always say essence, okay? Because spirit means something different. Spirit actually is a word that defines an action, so to say. It defines the essence, the soul. It defines, anyways, I had another path. This is why you need a living guru, because you could sit in front of somebody like me and you could question me like, what the hell are you talking about? And then I could stop and blah, 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 go that direction. And, and it would be hours and hours and hours. And then the next week you start the process all over again. That's why you need a living guru. Anyways, but this is the second best right here. This is the best we can do at this point in this environment. So you go to sleep. Your essence disassociates itself from the physical body. And it is now in the same environment type that God exists in, where time isn't a factor. Everything is happening instantaneous. In other words, it's like if you were traveling the speed of light. Boy, I'm gonna lose so damn many people with this. God, I wish there was a way to communicate better. I wish there was. I really wish. But if you were going the speed of light and you were in a spaceship and you went 1 billion light years away and then you came back, if you were traveling at the speed of light, you would be sitting here in the spaceship, and in the snap of a finger, you would be back on planet Earth. And for you in the spaceship, you would go, well, I made my coffee and I did this and I did that and I noticed all the stars zipping by and blah, 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 blah. And we had a great old time, and it seemed like time passed, but I'm actually not any older, and my watch didn't move. But here I am back on Earth. And now you have gained a massive amount of knowledge about traveling to the other side of the galaxy and coming back and all of this stuff. You've gained a massive amount of inner knowledge and wisdom. And for you, it happened like that. It happened like that fast. But to the people on Earth that you came back to, they died 2 billion years ago, because it's relative. It's the speed of light is relative. So no time passed for you, but 2 billion years passed for the people on Earth. Same thing happens when you're in a dream. You go into a dream, you are now traveling at the speed of light, essentially, because you are not subject to the constraints of time. So you are gaining all kinds of knowledge and wisdom, and assuming you may not be gaining anything. What you're doing is you're practicing being a god. You're practicing the ability to create realities, to create flight. You fly like a bird, or whatever it is you do in your damn dreams. Whatever. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is you're doing it, and it's taking no time. And if you are dreaming all kinds of interesting things or whatever, now you could be in a different type of a dream where it's a revelatory dream or a visionary dream where you actually are interacting with God, and now you're gaining all kinds of knowledge and wisdom, etc., etc. And when you wake up, it's just like traveling the speed of light. When you wake up, time passed on earth because you were asleep. 5-6 hours have passed and you wake up, but no time passed for you in your dream because you were essentially traveling the speed of light. Now, were you traveling the speed of light? No. I'm just saying that for a reference point so that you know zero time passes in your sleep. Now, how do you verify that this is real? Here's how you verify it. First off, the physical body, there are people that sleepwalk, okay? So their essence has left the body. It is in a different realm, so to say. It's beyond realms. I mean, like real dreaming, it isn't subject to realms. It's basically in Brahman. And it is creating its reality in no time. And so you wake up and you're here in this reality. Now, how do you verify that? You verify it by recognizing people can sleepwalk. The physical body is operating on its own. It isn't doing a very good job, but it's like you don't have to think about making your heart beat. You don't have to think about making the blood go through the veins. You don't have to think about doing all sorts of things that the body autonomously is able to do. Likewise, the physical body is capable of sleepwalking. It's capable of a lot of things, but it's absent of the controlling factor, which is the essence, which is you. So when you wake up from a dream, try this experiment if you would. I've done this many, many times. Try this if you can. You have a dream, and you know you're dreaming, and you're starting to wake up. And as you're waking up, you're remembering your dream, and it is like unbelievably complex. Well, I say complex. It is a fantastic dream. Very dynamic and everything. And as you're starting to wake up back into the physical plane of existence, you start losing your connection to that dream. And now you're in lucid dreaming was the word that I couldn't remember at the beginning of this video. So now you're passing through a lucid dreaming phase that may only last 3 seconds. It might last a minute. It varies. And you're going through this, and this only happens when you know that you're dreaming and you're still in your dream. But you also know that you're starting to wake up. You go through this period of lucid dreaming, and that lucid dreaming time is very limited. And as you're starting to wake up, you're going, I'm going to remember this dream. Somehow I'm going to try with every effort to remember this dream. And as you're going through that lucid dreaming, you're going, yeah, I'm losing some of it, but I still have some of it. And now you're going more and more, and you're going, well, I'm losing a lot of it. I'm almost awake, but I still, boom, you're awake in this physical realm, and you wake up, and you either open your eyes or you don't open your eyes, and you're awake, and you're going, oh, damn, it's all gone. I have zero. I can't remember a damn thing about that dream. Why? Why can't you remember a damn thing about that dream? Now we're talking normal dreams. I'm not talking about visions and revelations, because those stick with you. The reason you can't remember it is because you have a physical brain. Your brain, your mind, your awareness, it didn't experience that damn dream. You're using this to try to remember something it never experienced. You weren't there in the physical form. This physical body can get up and sleepwalk while the spirit is somewhere else. And when the two combine, you're back to using this, the physical brain, to try to remember something that it never experienced. So what's left? What is left that you can actually bring to this? The only thing that's left is a memory as you were going through that lucid dreaming period that may have only taken 1 second, by the way. That's the only thing that you can hold on to. And what is it? Well, for me, I'm talking about me now. For me, it's like, I remember it was a fantastic dream, but I can't remember any damn details about it. Nothing whatsoever. I only remember that during that short period of lucid dreaming that I knew, because it's a normal dream, I was going to lose it all. I knew it, and I was going to try to hold on to it as best I can. And I lost it all. And it doesn't matter what I did, I could not bring it back. But at least I held with me the fact that I had a fantastic dream. What is going on there is your spiritual essence has disassociated and brought it back to the physical body. And if it were a vision or revelation, then it brings it back in no time. But like the spacecraft that travels 1 billion light years away and comes back, the planet Earth has aged 2 billion years. So likewise, the spirit leaves, it comes back, the physical body has aged several hours. But the spirit did that in no time flat. It's very difficult to wrap your mind around duality. This is why people believe in spiritual non-duality. Their brain, their mind, maybe the reason is, now I'm speculating here, maybe the reason is they've never had a spiritual experience in their entire life, and everything has been reduced to this physical plane of existence, and they can speculate upon spiritual things, but they can only speculate from a non-dual perspective because they're incapable of experiencing two realms of reality coexisting at the exact same time. Anyways, so that's what's taking place. Here is a way for you to experiment. Now, if you've never, I don't even know. It's an uncomfortable way to communicate, even though it's not. It's silly. But here's how you can experiment with what I was just talking about with the lucid dreaming. Even though maybe you don't lucid dream, because most people don't lucid dream. I do, but most people don't. So how can you lucid dream? Okay. This is kind of a gross way of doing it, but let me explain how you can. You go to bed at night, but this is a way to prove to yourself, by the way. Do it a couple times. Do it as many times as you need to prove to yourself of what I'm talking about is real. You can prove duality, by the way, in the physical realm and the spiritual realm by doing this. So you go to bed at night. and you drink a bunch of water. Well, it don't matter how spiritual you are, your physical body is going to take control. And you're either going to pee in your bed or you're going to get up and go to the bathroom. Now, children that wet the bed, for instance, the reason they wet their bed is because they don't have a good connection between their spiritual essence and the physical body. They don't have a good connection there. And it's very difficult for them to make the two form back together when they're sleeping. And so because they're not having a very good connection there, they're dreaming, and I will guarantee you 100% that when they're dreaming, they may be dreaming that they got to go pee, and so they go pee, and sure enough, they wake up in their pee in their bed and go, oh my gosh, I'm so, they feel bad or whatever the case may be and everything because they didn't wake up. They don't have a good connection between the spiritual aspect of their self and the physical aspect, and they don't have that connection going on. But as an adult, typically you've been able to do this unconsciously so many times that if you were to experiment as an adult and you go to bed and you drink a lot of fluids, but not too many, otherwise you won't be able to go to sleep, definitely not coffee. So now you're in a dream, okay? But your physical body is now in a situation where it has to go pee. It's got to go to the bathroom. And your spiritual self is not there. It's in no time land, having a dream experience that isn't taking any time. And this physical body is essentially on its own screaming, hey, you better wake up, dude. I got to go to the bathroom. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. There is, I don't know if it's Hinduism, I can't remember exactly, but they talk about this golden thread of connection between, maybe the astral projection people talk about it. I can't remember, but they define it as a golden thread. And the reason golden is because gold can be made so fine that it's almost imperceptible, and yet it's completely linked. And so they have this gold thread between the spirit and the physical body. So it's never fully severed. As long as the human body is alive and breathing, that thread is not severed. And so the connection here is trying to wake up this spiritual body. And when it becomes so strong, sending the message, wake up, wake up, wake up, because it doesn't want to pee in the bed. It doesn't feel comfortable doing that as an adult. And so it's sending this message through this golden link. When I say it, I really mean it, because it's not you. It's the vehicle that you're driving, so to say. And it's trying to wake this up, okay? And then this, during that short period of time, your spiritual essence is being contacted by the physical through that permanent connection, as long as the physical body is alive, saying wake up. And you're going to get closer and closer and closer and closer. And in your dream, you're going to be going, I got to find a bathroom. Where's the bathroom? I got to go to the bathroom. And it's going to it will become annoying to you. In other words, your dream is becoming an annoying dream, trying to find a bathroom. But you can't find a bathroom. I mean, you go here, you go there, and then maybe you're in a familiar building, and it's like, well, there's no frickin' bathrooms in this building. What the hell's going on? I can't find a bathroom. I remember there was a bathroom in here, but there's no bathrooms. What the heck? I'm so frustrated. Where's a freaking bathroom? And that's what's happening in your spiritual essence. And of course, your spirit doesn't have to go to the bathroom. I mean, come on, let's get real here. But this does. It is screaming to wake up. Now, when you get super close eventually when you get super close, like I mean real close, and this is if you're not very good at experiencing lucid dreaming. You're going to lucid dream, I guarantee you. What's going to happen is you're going to get within a second, in a picosecond, in a minute, whatever. You're going to get in that last few seconds of time before you have to get up and go to the bathroom. You're going to go through this lucid dreaming period where you're going to start experiencing this connection coming back together. And like I said, it could be 1 second, it could be 5 seconds, it could be a minute, whatever the case may be. You're going to remember this. You're going to remember this dream, and it's going to be a vivid dream. It's going to be a wild dream. It's going to be a dream that took place over the course of many, many years, for instance, because it took no time to be in that dream. You could have lived an entire lifetime, but you're being drawn out of that reality that you're creating, by the way, in no time flat. And you're going to be drawing out of that because the body wants you to wake up. And in that very short period of time, you're going to have a lucid dreaming moment. And you're going to remember this, and you're going to remember that you're a physical human being. And you're starting to come together real quickly. And then, boom, you're going to be awake, and you're going to get up, and you're going to go to the bathroom, and you're not going to remember a damn thing about that dream. And you're going to go, oh man, I had it all. I mean, I was like right here, I had all of that, and I had this. I had both of them. And then as soon as I was fully awake in the physical form, that's gone. Can't remember a damn thing. But what you can remember is that lucid dreaming moment, that short period of time. That is the thing that you can remember, and it got shorter and shorter and shorter until the lucid dreaming was gone and you were in the physical. But what do you remember? All that you remember is that it was a very crazy dream that was very, very real, but it's gone. You don't remember any details. Now, how do visions and revelations differ from that? They differ in that when you wake up in the physical realm, you are blessed, shall I say, to retain all of it. The entire dream, the entire vision, you are blessed and able to recall it all with the physical brain, even though the physical body was never there. That is the difference between a vision and a revelation. In addition to the vision and revelation are because you didn't create it. You were not the one creating it. It was an interaction on that, I'd like to say plane of existence, but it isn't a plane, okay? In whatever format it is, this timeless realm, reality that God dwells in, you were co-reacting or co-interacting with God, with an angel, with some sort of deity, with whatever it is that you're co-reacting with. The reason you're bringing it back here is because there was a reason for it, and you're allowed to take that back with you. I've told you in a video way back, I think I have told you in a video, one of my visions, or shall I, well, yeah, it was a revelatory vision. I lived through, in this vision, an entire lifetime, and then it extended into a kalpa of time, and then it extended into 1 billion kalpas of time, and it extended beyond the lifetime of Brahma. And when I say lifetime, there's rebirth and everything. And it extended to quadrillions of years of time. And that was a memory that I have intact that took no time, and yet it extended over a period of infinity, essentially. Bizarre, completely bizarre, but it was real. It was not a dream. It was a real vision where I interacted with Brahma. And it was super, super cool. Now, people can say, well, you're just making that crap up. Okay, but that's what I was saying in the beginning of this video, where I said, for every 1,000 people that meet a living enlightened guru, 999 will not recognize that guru and just pass on and go look for something else. Same thing there. So I think this video has gone on long enough. If you notice any of the cuts in this video, it's because I was coughing, and so I had to cut that out of the video. Short of that, it's continuous, which is the way I like to make all my videos. There's no way to verify on this physical plane of existence what I'm telling you, other than what I've explained in the how to experiment for yourself. But you're not going to be able to back it up with written documentation. You're not going to back it up with other gurus or this or that or whatever, unless they happen to be enlightened gurus. You're not going to be able to back this up. So if you want to know for yourself if this is true, you're going to have to somehow contact God and have a one-on-one with God. And I guarantee you that's how people miss the opportunity. Like I said, 999 out of 1,000 walk away from the living guru thinking he's an idiot. In the same way, they walk away from God, because God does not communicate in this physical plane of existence, because this physical plane of existence takes place in time, and God does not operate in time. Now, everything is God. This plane of existence is God. God has created everything as the same way I create a dream at night. And God has created this, and I'm coexisting in this particular reality that God has created, just like you are. But God does not condescend in a physical format to communicate. Now, people in Christianity will say, oh, well, Jesus did it. Well, you can say what you want, but that was not God. Jesus was Jesus. He may have been the Christ, but he certainly isn't God, Brahma. There is so much I could say. I think that's why particular formats like Sangha or groups or meetings or whatever that have a living enlightened guru, that's why they are so valuable, because you can have this ongoing communication one-on-one, back and forth. But I really think it's probably impossible to take place in a group setting with hundreds of people. I think that's impossible. I think that the only way it can take place is truly one-on-one or in a very small group. Very, very small group. Otherwise, it just seems to me there's no way to do that. And furthermore, when that particular guru is dead, the physical body has died, that golden thread, if you will, that's linked to the essence or the soul or the actual living part, because this body isn't living. It exists in time. Living means it's eternal. This body is not eternal. Living means it's eternal, okay? So when you've lost that living link to a guru, it is no longer a valid source for living information. It may be a valid source for educational purposes, but certainly not what is necessary to gain the valid wisdom and knowledge necessary to become enlightened. With that said, I will say my goodbyes, and I hope you guys have a good. We're getting close to a new year. Maybe I'll produce another video or two before the end of this year, but I love you. Be careful. The world is entering a new age of evil. It is becoming significantly more violent. And I don't know how much longer we have in this physical world before this period of freedom is eliminated. And so then you're on your own again for who knows how long. Anyways, I hope the best for you, and I hope you guys, men and women, so when I say guys, I'm referring to men and women, because I know, I know this to be true. The reality is women are more spiritually inclined than men. Men are generally the bold pioneers that force forward and everything, but silently in the background, so to say, without making waves, if you will, or attracting attention or whatever. Generally speaking, women are more spiritually inclined than men, generally speaking. But why are men the generally predominantly ones known throughout the world as being gurus like Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, whoever you want to pick? Why is that so? It's so because men are physically aggressive. They are physically capable of defending themselves against satanic forces and everything. And so women, they stay quiet. They generally do not go and put themselves out there. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. And as a man, if you're lucky enough to find a woman that is spiritually inclined like that, then that is actually more that is more advantageous than finding a living enlightened guru. But just like a living enlightened guru is difficult to be around, it's very difficult to be around a spiritually dynamic woman, because although they may seem docile when exposed to the world, in a marriage situation, they are anything but a docile. They're not going to stand for your bullshit of man authority and stuff. And so it absolutely requires you to be godlike, to humble yourself and recognize that you are 50% and your wife or spouse or girlfriend is the other 50%. And as soon as you think you're 51%, you've lost. You've lost. You've absolutely lost, because now you have crossed the bounds to authoritarian type scenario, and you absolutely cannot do that. You have to have equality. So what really happens, I'm off on a tangent here because I actually was communicating with somebody on my videos, and so it just popped into my head that in marriage or if you're going to get married and you have a girlfriend or whatever the case may be, man and woman, it's like, as a man, you have to devote yourself 100% to whatever it is that makes her happy. And you have to devote yourself 100%. Now, if you did that to a woman that was only devoting herself 50%, eventually you would run out of steam, so to say, and essentially divorce or separation, or it just wouldn't work. If the woman devotes herself 100% and you devote yourself 100%, to where it's like, this is a very difficult thing to explain, okay? And I hope this is making sense to you. If you devote yourself 100% in your way of thinking, then you're going to fail because there's no you. You've devoted 100%. And if she takes 100%, eventually you'll be without anything, spiritually, physically, everything. So you're just hoping she gives you something back. But she has to give you 100% of what she has and 100% of what you give. Vice versa. And when that is perfectly balanced, and I do mean perfectly balanced, where there's 100% giving here, 100% giving here, and you maintain that connection that way, that's kind of like what Jesus was talking about, the come unto me and I'll be an eternal fountain. In other words, it never runs out of water. It never runs out. It's like perpetual motion, if you will. It never ceases to produce the spiritual energy necessary to become one with God. It never stops producing it, and it continues to grow. But that concept, I laugh because it's about as common as finding an enlightened guru. It's about as common to find a man and woman that have that kind of relationship as it is to find an enlightened guru. But because as I said, a man has to be physical, manly, aggressive, strong, extremely bold, willing to do whatever it takes to defend the honor of his wife and family and his religion and his faith and his enlightenment and everything. You got to be fucking powerful and strong. Just powerful. You have to have that. You cannot be this wokeism and stuff. You have to be powerful. And you give 100% of that to your wife. And your wife or your spouse or your girlfriend has to give back 100% in what women do, which is the connection of love and kindness and intuition. The women are extremely susceptible to intuition, whereas the man has to learn intuition. They innately have it, but they can get rid of that intuition by getting involved with business and stuff like that and becoming more like men, which is, boy, did I get off on a tangent, didn't I? Anyways, I love you, and I really hope you have a good time, and I hope that this helps you in your life somehow, some way. Thank you for watching. I love you.